Well, it's almost a new year, and it's time that we often take stock of what happened in 2021 and look to the next year and the habits we need to change and the ways we need to grow. It's been a tough year for a lot of people and for a lot of reasons with the stress or anxiety or loneliness or sadness or even sickness. We, get into funks or different, coping mechanisms that we wish we hadn't or we can take stock and like how can I change my habits? That's a typical New Year practice, huh? And I was reading an article about a guy celebrating his sobriety for a number of years. He had gotten into too heavy of drinking, and he'd been looking for some spiritual guru to help him find a way, spiritually to grow. And he wasn't a Catholic at the time, but he found writings by this man named Ignatius, Saint Ignatius of Loyola, who actually is whose wisdom inspires a lot of the 12-step programs out there. But there's something he found that can help us with food and drink. It's from his spiritual exercises, and he gives this, which our sobriety expert here shared, he found very helpful. While one is eating, let him imagine he sees Christ the Lord and his disciples at table. And consider how he eats, Christ, how he eats and drinks, how he looks, how he speaks, and then strive to imitate him. In this way, his mind will be occupied principally with our Lord and less with the provision for the body. Thus, he will come to greater harmony and order in the way he ought to conduct himself. So we imagine ourselves at the table. Jesus is there. We see how he partakes of the food and the drink, enjoying what he's created. Even the wine, he made water into wine. That's one of the readings that rotates through for Epiphany, which is this Sunday's Mass. And how does he speak at table? And we try to imitate him and receive these gifts with gratitude and joy, but without undue attachment. So that's the Catholic phrase, inordinate attachment. In other words, inordinate, disordered attachment. Having too much attachment to certain things that are not God, or being attached to them in the way that's not in proper order. Attached to God most of all, and then to the other things of higher value and worth, like serving our human relationships, and then our material and physical goods that we possess. And everything in right order. So imagining ourselves, imagining Christ with us. And of course, we can't escape the Lord's presence no matter what. So when we imagine him with us and looking upon us with love, but also reminding us of the right path, it's just a reminder of reality. So the Lord is looking over our shoulder with love, and it's good to imagine that for our consolation and for our correction. So I hope that you have a peaceful entry into the new year, and we'll pray it's full of much consolation and joy.